Alright, today on the bench we're just making a video about the Arrma granite. This is the brushless version, and I think it's the V3. I think it's the latest one anyway. I believe it's a V3. This is the green one. It's a four-wheel drive monster truck, brushless. Great little starter monster truck. This is probably one of the best handling, cheaper monster trucks I've ever owned. Super strong. I've never broken anything on it. It's pretty dirty, but I love this thing for what it is and the price of it. It's a great monster truck. Perfect for kids. If you've got kids and you want to start them off on a good little car, highly recommend this. Not even just for kids, like adults love. I'm an adult and I love this thing. It does have different profiles, so if you were getting it for a kid, you can set it up so it's not as powerful and not as fast, because I run it on 2S pretty much all the time. You can run it on 3S, but it's pretty ballistic on 3S. I don't think you really need to run it on 3S. 2S has got plenty enough power. You can see the tyres are ventilated in the actual rubber themselves, which is awesome. These are great tyres. They grip very well. These are just the factory ones it comes with. They're awesome off-road. They're awesome on-road. There's just, yeah, I don't have much bad stuff to say about this car at all. I've never broken anything on it. Never had any dramas. It jumps beautifully. It's strong. You can see scratches and stuff on it. It is the green body. You'll notice though, this is a bit of a fail on my behalf. You can see all the body's gone all milky. The reason for that, if I just pop this body off, I always shoe goo and drywall tape all of my RC bodies, especially my bashes. But I don't know if you've ever done that before, but shoe goo is quite expensive. So I was just looking around here in Australia to see if I could find anything that was equivalent to shoe goo, but not the shoe goo brand. So I found a cheap shop that was selling shoe glue, and I thought, oh yeah, it'd be pretty much the same. I don't know if you can notice it. Well, for a start, it's gone this browny colour, but it's also, if you look through the body, you can see how it's eaten the body away, and that's why the whole back of it here has gone white, and the whole thing is, see how it's all sucking in, and that the whole body has gone soft and it's just destroyed it. So yeah, it cost me $2 for the shoe glue, and yeah, the dry tape I already had, the drywall tape, but it completely stuffed the body pretty much. So now I've got a pretty much completely destroyed body. So it's got nothing to do with the car. That's a fail on my behalf. I should have just bought the $13 bottle of shoe goo like I normally do, the tube of it, instead of trying to be a cheap ass and get the $2 tube of shoe glue. I found out the hard way that they're absolutely not the same, and just stick with what you know. So from now on, like I've done with my other 100 RCs, I'm just going to use shoe goo and drywall tape. So yeah, nothing to do with the Arrma. It's not the Arrma body's problem. It's completely me just using the wrong glue. And as you can see, learn from my mistake. Don't use cheap stuff. If you know something works, stick with it. So back to the car. As I said, this is the brushless version. I believe it goes up to 3S. I think it's a Hobbywing rebranded system. I'm not really sure. Arrma's a bit cagey with that. They don't really say, but I think it is an Arrma system. A Hobbywing style. Quite powerful actually. It's not a bad little system. I haven't changed any of this from factory. It did come with the fan on the heatsink, fan on the ESC. It does have the EC5 connector on this for your smart stuff. A bit annoyingly though, this is the old Arrma style ESC. It's not the newer Spectrum ones, so you don't get the telemetry. Unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. Only runs on your single battery. Velcro to hold the battery down and on in there. Drive shaft in the middle is plastic. It is removable, which I have done because I kind of like running two-wheel drive vehicles as well. So if you just pop this drive shaft out, it's just spring loaded, it will just be a rear-wheel drive vehicle because of the way that the motor's mounted here and the transmission is just here. If you pull this drive shaft out, no power goes to the front wheels at all, so you can make it just rear-wheel drive just by popping the drive shaft out. Kind of cool. It does have the Arrma quick release system, so under here you undo a screw from underneath the chassis and a couple of other ones, I can't remember where they are, and then you just pull up on this clip and it pops this whole motor assembly out as one. Same with up the front here, undo a couple of screws, and the servo down in here and this ESC and the receiver box all come within one thing. Love it or hate it. Some people hate it, some people like it. Doesn't really bother me either way. Does the job. You can see at the front here, it does have plastic drive shafts, but they are beefy. You can adjust the shocks front and rear, but they are with like clip-on collars. I've never adjusted them. I just left it how it comes from the factory. I think it handles great for what it is. Plastic chassis, once again, I think it's great that it's got a plastic chassis. Plastic chassis take heaps of abuse. They have more, you know, they flex more than bending, but it's a very thick, very strong, unless you're doing super extreme, like if you're going to jump a car 30 foot in the air, it's going to break no matter what it is. It can be made out of bloody titanium. It's going to break eventually. These are scale vehicles, so if you think about it in your real car, if you jumped the real car 2 meters off the ground, that would be pretty violent and you're probably going to bend things. So something that's 30 meters in the air for the size of these things, that's just insane. That'd be like jumping your car off the roof of a house and expecting it to survive. It's just not going to happen. So I know people complain that RCs are weak, but honestly, the abuse that we put them through, it's surprising they can even handle what they can handle. But I've flogged this thing, I've jumped it, I've ran it in dirt, I've flipped it, I've barrel rolled it. It's been, I think I might have even hit a car in this thing. I've never broken a part on it, so I'm not saying you won't break parts on it, but this is probably one of the strongest, most fun vehicles I've ever had, and handles really well. I'm happy to give this control to any kid that comes down, or any one of my friends, and not worried that they're going to not be able to handle it or not be able to control it, and if they crash it, it's going to explode. Like, parts for it also pretty cheap. So yeah, I highly recommend this Arrma Granite if you're looking for a vehicle for yourself or a vehicle for the whole family. It's perfect. Just the bodies don't last forever. If you do reinforce them with shoe goo and drywall tape, they last a lot longer. Just don't make my mistake. Just use the actual real stuff. If you do that, the body will last 10 times longer than they normally will. I'm not even going to try and put it back on camera because it's just completely stuffed. I have to order a new body. But yeah, this is the Arrma Granite. It's the newest one. I think it's the V3. Awesome car. Highly recommend it. Had heaps of fun with this one. I really love it. It's just a shame that I destroyed the body, but you know, you get that. Hard lesson to learn, but if you don't learn anything from any of my videos, just learn that one, that don't cheap out. The actual shoe goo brand is the only one to use that I know of for bodies. Just, yeah, any other brand that you see, don't even bother trying. Just go with what you know. I've never had a single problem with any of my vehicles with shoe goo. It's just that cheaping out, getting the wrong stuff. It must be a different chemical. Just didn't work with Lexan bodies. It just started attacking it and eating it straight away. So anyway, yeah, just a quick look at the Arrma. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you've got any questions about it, let me know and I'll get back to you.